So, we would walk around with our cigarettes because we smoked in the hallways. He smoked in our offices, which is crazy. You'd walk by your assistants.
So this was still Mad Men days,
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah.
What year?
It was 89. It was
89.
it was the end of Mad Men. My first experience, great experience, was I was just excited, because my teachers would tell us that, hey, listen, you're probably not going to produce anything for the first couple of years. Uh, just be a sponge. And so my first week, I just literally walked into all of these offices asking these creators, creative directors and executive creative directors, if there's anything that I could do for them, drawing storyboards, sharpening their pencils, all of that.
So
and
cool.
and I would sit down with some of them, and like Judy Protis, who did the Levy's Bread campaign, or Phyllis Robinson, who was like one of the most famous copywriters, that came out of DDB. And I would just sit down, and Charlie Piccirillo, I'd just sit down and talk to them about Bill Bernbach. And they would the stories that they would share with me were just incredible. And I felt like I was like, I don't know, at the home of the New York Yankees. Like, there was so many great stories and great inspiration that everyone shared. It was just incredible, and just made me so proud to be there. Like, that was my first place. I was actually working at a place that, created this incredible movement for advertising. And I was so fortunate to be there. And so, we would walk around with our cigarettes because we smoked in the hallways. He smoked in our offices, which is crazy. You'd walk by your assistants.
So this was still Mad Men days, essentially.
Yeah.
What year?
It was 89.
89.
It was the end of Mad Men, right? But we were still smoking cigarettes, bumming cigarettes from our assistant. Everybody was smoking. It was like insane. And you're walking around drinking. So we're like carrying around a bottle of scotch, all that. And it was, it was kind of like this incredible spirited sort of place that just had like, so much energy. And there was no such thing as, 5 o'clock, right? Going home or anything like that. You were just on,
Wow.
you were just on, you were working all night if you had to. There was no sense of work-life balance. That was your life, right? And so my first experience with the culture was meeting this art director. I was a junior art director. I was meeting this art director who had been at DDB for 5 years. It was, he started there, but he had no hands, and he blew off his hands when he was a kid, putting together a pipe bomb of all things. And so I had read about him in the CA magazine, and to meet him up front and sort of hear his story was just absolutely incredible. And he was someone who inspired me on a daily basis, even though I was new to the city and in some cases, just out of my element. But being around him and seeing how much resilience and sort of tenacity and passion he had for the business, despite the fact that he had no hands, was just incredible and just inspiring every single day that I had the opportunity to work with him. And so we worked together as art directors, right? And we kind of belonged to this group of young creators that were always there late at night, always pushing each other, always, pranking each other. One night, I walked into my office like at 8 o'clock at night, right? And I'm still working on something, and it smelled like fish in my office. And I was like, why does my office smell so bad? And what happened was it smelled bad for the next couple of days because one of those creators put a dead fish up in the rafters
No.
to stink up my office. That was the type of stuff that we were doing, stuff that you would actually get fired for, at any other agency in today's times. But but it was just this really incredible sort of sense of kinship between all of the creators. Like we all wanted to see each other succeed, and one of the things that we would always ask ourselves is, what would Bill do? What would Bill say? How would Bill react to the work?